Welcome to today's SBW Talks episode. We're thrilled to have Pooja Tyagi with us. She works in wealth management and probate law, a full-time working mom and an MBA student, juggling it all with grace and determination. Join us as Pooja shares her journey of balancing career, motherhood, and education, all while building her personal brand as an influencer. She has over 41,000 followers. You can find her on the high street. Tune into this podcast on managing it all, navigating the financial world, and how she stays motivated through it all. So let's dive in. Welcome, Pooja.
Hi, Neela. Thank you for having me. It's such a good opportunity to be sitting here with you and talking about all of these topics.
No, we're so excited to have you.
Yeah.
So you are now in your mid 40s and you just started an MBA.
Mhm.
Why an MBA?
Well, I did my own research on cost versus return. So, an MBA can be expensive, but it is important to consider the potential return on your investment. So, I would advise on looking into or researching your typical salary increases or promotions for someone with an MBA in your field and making sure the cost would be justified, just as you would buying a new house or planning on getting a new car. Just make sure the cost within your industry is justified. And that it was in my case. So I decided to go with it. And also, it was a personal goal of mine. And I'm super excited about it. I'm in my learning mode. I feel like that's really important. Just with any situation in life, to be in that learning zone, you can gain so much experience. And that's why I took it on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never too late to start. And I'm
Mhm.
so glad you're doing this.
Yeah.
It gives, I guess it makes other women think about, do I really want to go and get
Mhm.
a higher education? I
Oh,
think
yeah.
you're doing the right thing.
Oh, I don't doubt it. It's been a long-term personal goal of mine beyond financial considerations. Um, I feel like it really aligned with my bigger picture. So that's what you want to think of when getting a degree like this. Does it align with your bigger picture? That is a key here. And it did. And so I went for it.
No, that's great. But how are you juggling it all? I mean, family, career, school. How do you do
Yes,
it?
yes, absolutely. Anxiety is just such a big word in today's day and age. How do you do it? It causes so much stress on us ladies. I want to talk about one of the biggest causes of anxiety is feeling like you have to do everything right now. And that is an absolute myth. So even when everything feels urgent, it's it's easy to get paralyzed and overwhelmed. But a simple and effective way to kind of manage your anxiety would be to break everything down in smaller tasks. And instead of focusing on a whole mountain of things, you need to focus on breaking it down one by one by one. And that is the key to managing it all. It is not looking at this whole you know, big picture. It's to break that big picture down in smaller tasks. That is the best way to organize your life while doing multiple things.
No, that's great. I think we always want to
Mhm.
do everything at once. We're
Yes.
multitaskers.
Mhm.
And I think what you said, breaking it down
Mhm.
and doing it one day at a time.
Yeah, yeah. And also want to talk about self-care. A lot of us women, we kind of feel like we have to do it all for other people. But remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup.
So true.
Yeah. So what you need to do is prioritize your time, getting to know you, whether it is to sit down for 10 minutes, have your chai and scroll your phone. If that's what gets you that little bit of 10 minutes of self-care time or listening to a podcast or just um, closing your eyes and just taking a little bit of a breather. Do not let that whole concept of self-care be on the sideways. You really need to take care of yourself before you take care of others. So that is one huge component of avoiding anxiety as women.
And just like de-stressing.
Absolutely.
Um that's one way of what you
Mhm.
just said, having chai and scrolling your phone. I know you
Mhm.
also like fitness.
Yes.
What are some ways of kind of using that as stress management while
Mhm.
balancing all of this?
Oh, fitness is really important to me. I feel like when I've been to the gym or whether going out for a walk, um, after I've accomplished those tasks, I can take on more serious, projects that could come my way. It gives me the mental clarity to deal with things. That's just my way of self care. Everyone has their own. Going to the gym, walking. That gives me that mental clarity. That yes, I'm able to handle that mountain of tasks that's in front of me. So that's really key. So depending on what gives you joy, what sparks joy in you, make sure you do prioritize yourself.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
I think we always forget that.
Mhm.
So as women, we need to really prioritize us
Yes.
before everyone else.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to your MBA
Mhm.
because getting an MBA or a higher education degree in your mid 40s
Yeah.
can be tough for a lot of people financially because they're also saving for their kids. So
Yes.
how do you balance that?
Well, if you are already financially stretched, saving for your children's education, taking on the cost of an MBA might add to some of that stress. But so many schools do take that into consideration. They have flexible programs, online, part time, weekend schedules. Where there's a will, there's a way. So if you look into all of the options that are available to us right now as working professionals, more and more schools are, gearing up these executive MBA programs for the working adult, probably, and the average age is mid 40s. So you just want to explore all of those options. There are lots of, good schools out there that offer these flex programs. Are all online, and that would just alleviate some of that stress while you are fulfilling your life's dream.
Yeah, no, that's great. And then
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll meet so many wonderful people in
Mhm.
your MBA program.
Yes, yes. Networking is really important. Whether it is for your MBA or whether it is learning a new skill in life, that's something that's completely different from an MBA. I feel like meeting people and knowing about their journey and learning from their skill set, it just enriches the experience of life. So that is really important. So take that into consideration, whether you're pursuing an MBA or not. Meeting people, learning from their journey, that's a big part of me. So I would say that, it could be a part of your self-care routine, meeting new people, getting out there, being challenged in ways that you didn't think you would be, and listening to other people's opinions and views, which may be completely different from yours. So yeah, absolutely, that is a big part of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in this networking, do you
Mhm.
see a lot of women or men? Is it
Mhm.
equal
Mhm.
amounts of people, like the men and women ratio, what I'm trying to
Mhm.
say?
Well, unfortunately, it's never equal. We do have, you know, more men. We need to change that, right?
Right.
Ladies, come on, get out there. We do have more men in a lot of the fields. But, I have to say there's been such a mindset shift. More women are getting out there and meeting new people and learning new skill sets and just enriching their lives, um, listening to other people's opinions, views, their professional experiences. And we as women need to kind of uplift each other. So it just, mm, if there's, the table is always big enough for all of us. So yeah, I go in with that mindset, and I really enjoy meeting other professional women. So yeah.
I think that networking is going to take you a long way, even if it's not now, but later in
Yes.
life, in whatever you choose to do.
I believe so. I feel like we, as human beings, are meant to be in a more of a collaborative setting. Nobody can do it all on their own. You need to learn from other people's experiences. It's as good as going to a business school or getting a higher degree, in my opinion. So yeah, I believe that being collaborative and learning from each other's experience is a huge part of your growth, professional as well as personal.
No, that's great. And I think You're also a role model to your children.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think we all are. Whether you are pursuing an MBA or whether you are a stay-at-home mom or whether, you're out there doing you're an entrepreneurial journey. We women these days are, doing it all, and we are proving to our daughters that whatever field you choose, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be some setbacks, and how to handle that, um, and build resilience. So that just really brings about that whole, getting out there and meeting new people on that side.
And when you were thinking about getting an MBA, did you have any self-doubts?
Oh my gosh. I was, there was crippling anxiety. There was financial anxiety. There was a lot of pushback from people around me. Oh my goodness, you're in your mid 40s. Do you think you can do this? In fact, I ran into some challenges even at work as well. There were other supervisors who, they were like, "Do you really need this? It doesn't really add to your hard skill set." Uh, because my MBA was in executive leadership, so you're not really learning like concepts of science and math. It's just looking at the bigger picture. Of course I did. But one way to get over it is go in that growth mindset. You need to crush those doubts. Be Do your research. Make sure you do your research, whether it's really worth it for cost. So I was in that learning mindset and I took on this challenge and I have never looked back. I think it's a great experience. I would highly advocate it.
No, that's great. I think you're giving confidence to other women to pursue higher studies.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I hope so. Well, I'm trying. Okay, I'm doing my best here. We all are, right?
Yeah. And then I want to ask you this question, Pooja, because I have a lot of friends who are in the workforce and they work with a lot of younger employees.
Yes.
And they feel like intimidated or they're like, I can't keep up. So how do you feel when you see those younger students in your program?
Well, I feel like I'm still learning. So there is no one above anybody else. Um, and if you are getting into the workforce, make sure that your goals are in alignment with your job, because that is a huge part of being good at your job. It should be a strength and not a weakness. So make sure you're playing up on your strengths, because if you're focusing on your weaknesses, you're not going to grow. It's just a waste of time. So as a young professional, you want to make sure you recognize your strengths and you play up on those. And that is one way to kind of not be intimidated of people who are out there, because that, I'm doing my best here and I love to do this. So that is one of the tips that I can give you.
No, that's great.
Hopefully it works.
Yeah, it can be intimidating. And then this is also a networking because maybe you start your own business and there's younger people who join your business that you met in your business school.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no denying. There's no such thing as an empty opportunity. Just making sure that you make something out of things that, everything is a learning experience. So even if you don't gain anything positive out of it, even a negative can be looked at as a learning experience and making sure that, I got something out of it. I now know what not to do. So, right.
Right. Now, a quick question for you. I know a lot of companies kind of pay for your MBA. Is that something women should look into?
Absolutely. So I feel like the employers are getting smarter. What they want to do is they want to invest in employees that have been tenured with the company for a little bit. And so you've spent your time with the company. And depending on what the employer is willing to offer, are you willing to sign a contract for a few years after your MBA to stick around? So some do pay for it, some don't, but that's okay. If this is your path, don't let anything stop you, whether it's your employer, whether it's your family, whether it's your your self-doubt. Just make sure you get in your zone and get it done. If it's a personal goal, it is a personal goal, right?
Yeah, no, it is. And you just have to achieve it in
Yes.
whatever way.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
No, this has been great, Pooja.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to? I know you're an influencer. You're busy
Yeah.
making reels and stories.
Yes.
I mean, that's another, that's a job on its
Oh,
own.
my goodness. It's become a job on its own. So back when I started with Instagram, I'll be honest, it wasn't a job. It's amazing to see this industry grow into, such a big powerhouse. Um, and there's something called UGC now, user generated content, which some of these really big brands are tapping into, which means that you can create reels for very large, brands and be paid for it just out of your home. So yes, it's been a good journey on Instagram. I really enjoy doing this for sure. And to see it grow into such a multi-billion-dollar industry, the influencer industry, no doubt if you've decided this is your journey, if you want to be an influencer, I would, go for it, treat it like a business and not just a hobby. That's just, because you'll see the returns out of it. Put in that effort. So.
And it's almost like it is a business,
Mhm.
and you're getting your MBA, and I'm sure you'll know so much more behind how it works.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So like I said, the industry has grown a lot. And earlier it was just so small and just not very credible. But now I see influencing is a huge business and it's affecting every single part of the creative journey or the creative process uh, for the makings of a good brand. So yeah, making sure that you do understand that this is a business and that you're approaching it that way will really help you scale yourself up in this world.
No, that's great advice. If you don't know our handle, it's called the High Street. So go on Instagram, wherever. Where else are you, Pooja?
I'm on Instagram right now. I think I wish I had the time to kind of get into YouTube, but at this point, I feel like Instagram is my best bet.
Oh, no, you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
No, I thank you for coming on this podcast. It was awesome listening to you. And we'll hopefully have you on another podcast, part 2 on Pooja.
Yes.
She's very confident in what
Oh.
she does and very positive. The first time I met Pooja, her vibe was just so positive, and that's why I loved meeting her and getting to know her. So
Thank
thank you,
you.
Pooja, for coming.
Thank you so much, Neela. I appreciate all your kind words.
No, thank you again. So thank you, viewers, for listening and viewing SBW Talks. See you on YouTube, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.